not? What is Hajj Badal? And the second question is posed by a non-Muslim regarding the rituals in the Hajj. When we throw stones, what is the relevance of that? And does in any way shaitan get affected by those stones or not? I mean, this was one of the things. And in that act, there are lots of people who die. I mean, what is the answer to that, as well as the first part of the question?
There was a question that a person who has not performed Hajj, and since Hajj is fard, can he do Hajj Badal? First question. The second question is that when we stone the Jamrat, does the devil get hurt and don't people get killed? So what's the reason? As far as the first question is concerned, that can a person who has not done Hajj do Hajj Badal? No, he cannot do. Hajj Badal means doing Hajj on behalf of somebody else. Maybe the person is alive, he may be sick, he physically cannot perform all the rituals of Hajj. So surely he can say that here I'm giving you money. Just because I'm physically not fit, I'm asking somebody else to go. As far as the second part of the question is concerned, that when we stone the Jamrat, does the devil get hurt? See, here we have to realize that when we stone the Jamrat, it is not that physically we are causing a damage to the Satan. It is symbolic. That means we are against the devil. That is there. And we know that the devil always strives to take us on the wrong path. So when we are stoning the Jamrat, we are actually symbolically agreeing that we are against the devil and we want to fight against him because he is an avowed enemy to us. As far as the last part is concerned, that while stoning the Jamrat, many people die, etc. That's the reason the government is making facilities. The government is giving more facilities where people can stone and yet there may not be a stampede, etc. But if you analyze, brother, previously when people used to go for Hajj, maybe 50 years back, 100 years back, 200 years back, more people used to die as compared to today. Today, about 2.5 million perform Hajj every year, on average. 2.5 million people perform Hajj every year. Previously, it was less than 1 million. If you go back more, it was less than 100,000 people. Yet, when we went for Hajj, suppose living in India, we had to go by ship. It used to take months to do Hajj. Now, you can go for Hajj and come back even in 6 days' time. Minimum even less than that. On average, they take 2 weeks to 3 weeks, so that they want to go to Medina, etc. and stay in Makkah for a longer period. But the minimum requirement can be done in a few days. Previously, it used to take months. And whenever people used to go for Hajj, they used to meet the relatives, and there was an understanding, maybe we will not return back. Maybe. Chances. Not that they won't return for sure, but chances are there. Whether 20% they will not return back, 30% or 40%, whatever it is. But now if we analyze the 2.5 million people going and the total number of people dying for whatever reason, it is 0.001%. It will be less than 0.01%. So compared to before, now the facilities are much better. As far as the toilets are there, mashallah, it is very hygienic compared to before. But now, we don't want even a single person to die. So if any one person also dies for any reason because of overcrowding or stoning the Jamrat, the government of Saudi Arabia is trying its best to curtail it down. And when non-Muslim experts, when they hear about the facility that the government is giving, they say it is impossible. Logically and scientifically, it's impossible that 2.5 million people are gathering together in Arafat, Mina, and performing the rituals without hundreds of thousands of people dying. They say it's impossible. Yet, alhamdulillah, we see that every year the Hajj is being performed. There have been occasions where there was some fire took place and few hundred people expired. There was a tunnel that caved in. But yet, if we see the percentage, it is very negligible. So even in Jamrat, now the government has made a flyover and have extended the Jamrat so that you can stone from the ground floor as well as first level. Now a second level has come and more will keep on coming. So they're trying the level best and see to it that people come and do what is required in the religion without being hurt. And when people go for Hajj, there they see millions of people gathering together, people dressed up in 2 pieces of unsewn cloth, preferably white. There we see the real brotherhood. People from America, Canada, UK, Singapore, Malaysia, India, Pakistan, UAE, Gulf countries, they dressed up in 2 pieces of unsewn white cloth preferably. You cannot identify the person standing next to you is a king or a pauper, whether rich or poor, all look similar. So here we get the universal brotherhood and practically demonstrate. So we perform Hajj because it's one of the pillars of Islam. It's a fard, the commandment of Allah and the Rasul. Hope that answers the question. Any brother have any questions? Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
We just now heard that Allah says in Quran that night is there for rest. How about those people who work in nights? Are they violating the law?
That's the question, that the Quran has said that night has been made for you for rest. So those people who work at night, are they violating the rule? See, there are exceptions to the rules. As a general rule for the whole world, the day is the time for working, night is for rest. But there are exceptions to the rule. Like, if we analyze, there are many things which are made as a general rule, which is there. For example, there are a small minority who are left-handed because the right lobe is dominant. If your brain, the right half is dominant, then you become a lefty. Normally, most of the human beings, the left hemisphere is dominant, so you become a righty. But in certain situations, where there are exceptions to the rule, where you are made physiologically that way. So similarly, as far as the general rule is concerned, the time for working is day, and the time for resting is night. But as a general rule, as a majority, maybe more than 90%, the night is meant for rest. But those people who work in night, then day should be rest for them. For example, it is said that offering salah is fard in Jamaat. But when you had war, one of the Jamaat offers salah, and the other people is staying at guard, then the next Jamaat. But the thing is, earlier the better. So the person offering Jamaat first is better than the second. But in this situation, both get equal sawab. Because the first Jamaat is supervising and checking and holding fort during war. So, if everyone says we'll offer first Jamaat, then there'll be a problem. Similarly in Haram. If he's in Haram, there are police who don't join the Jamaat. These people are taking care of law and order. If they say, no, we want to get sawab in the Jamaat, and we will not miss the Jamaat physically, by the hadith, yes, you should offer earlier. So they miss the Jamaat of the Haram. So inshallah, I feel they're doing it so that everyone can offer Jamaat. Suppose there are 1 million people in Haram during Ramadan, or 1.5 million people. Because these police, who may be few in 100 in numbers, because of them, people can easily offer salah. So they offer afterwards. But if you ask me, inshallah, because of them, the 1 million people can offer salah. So that is the reason they will get equal sawab. Unless intentionally they're not offering salah. If the niyyah is there, that they should offer. So in this situation, when there are certain jobs required, for example, the police. Police work day and night shift and day shift. They said, no, why? Night is for rest. So in a Muslim country also, there are police working at night time. They cannot say, no, night is for rest, therefore I will sleep. So the law and order will be disrupted in that country. So these exceptions to the rule. So what the Quran is saying is a general rule. But there are exceptions to the rule. So there may be a small percentage, whether it be 5% or 10%, who may work at night. Same in our office. When we do work, when we're doing round the clock, certain work has to be done. So there are some people who come in night shifts. So in these situations, the exception is there. But as a general rule, night is for rest and day is for working. In these cases, the night the person works and day he rests. Hope that answers the question. Any brother have any questions on Islam and comparative religion? Yes, brother.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We heard that unless we do the dawah, we will not enter Jannah. And again, you emphasized on Surah Asr, where 4 criteria are met, we will not enter Jannah. Okay, that is fine. But then there is another hadith which says, even if you have belief that Iman equivalent to a mole, you will enter Jannah. Don't you think it is conflict with each other?
There was a question that dawah is further than the 4 criteria.